All right, hello there, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. Welcome to Zath's Replay Theater, and I am here with Automobile 92, who is a Tier 2 Patreon. So we're doing a replay analysis off stream as part of that package. So, how you doing, Otto?
Oh, doing pretty good.
And what, if you don't mind me asking, what's the impetus behind your in-game name there as Automobile 92?
So my last name is Otto,
and
one of my teachers in like first grade discovered that it sounded very much like automobile, like a car, and he called me Automobile until the day I graduated high school, and it kind of stuck around.
That's awesome. I had a student whose last name was Sippy. So one of my colleagues said, "Oh, so your mom is Mississippi."
Yep. And it's probably stuck with that student too.
Oh, poor girl. So, anyways, thank you, by the way, for supporting the channel. Really appreciate that. And we're here to give you some feedback on this Montana replay, huh?
Yes.
So tell me about the Montana. What do you think about her? What do you like about her? What do you not like about her? All that good stuff.
So I'm still relatively new to the game. Montana is my first tier 10.
Okay.
This was like, I think, my 5th game in her.
Okay.
Managed to pull out. I enjoy her more than Iowa. I can't find a specific why. She seems a little tankier.
Okay.
But maybe I've just finally learned and don't do quite as many stupid things with her.
So
then the whole 12-gun broadside is a big plus.
I was just about to mention that. I think the reason you like her more is because she's got more guns than the Iowa does. She's a little bit, I believe she's a little bit slower than the Iowa, a little bit maybe less maneuverable, but she does pack it where it counts. So, and you said this is so you're relatively new to Tier 10, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So you have found yourself an Epicenter game. Congratulations there. And then on top of that, you've managed to be top tier, which is always exciting. But there's only 3 battleships on either side, 2 cruisers on either side. You've got 4 destroyers and 2 submarines and a carrier to deal with. Don't you feel lucky?
I felt super lucky, and I think I actually complained in chat just a little bit. Because it was like the perfect storm, though, to be honest, it was Tier 8 aircraft carriers, so it really could have been worse.
Absolutely, right, yep. Hornet's not so bad. Ish. I mean, she does have those, B-25s. But you've got a Hornet in your team too, so there's balance in the force. So I do like how you move closer to the battle here. You're in the outer ring, at least being part of the force that's preventing the enemy team from capturing the outer ring. Sadly, your mid ring has already been captured.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what our DDs did. They all hooked left and right.
Now, you fired right there just the front 2 gun turrets. You didn't fire your rear, and it looks like you didn't want to keep turning until you could fire that rear. Why not?
Not knowing what else was on that left flank that could have, if I continued turning, slapped me.
Okay. So, I mean, it ends up being only the Massachusetts. My thought would be the risk of taking that broadside versus perhaps possibly slapping that Venezia might be worthwhile. But, I mean, playing it safe early on isn't a bad thing necessarily either. All right, there's the sub. Good. You've switched over to anti-sub warfare. And even if you can't see the sub, you can at least guesstimate what you're doing. That's good. Broadsiding Kerfers? Yes, please. Now, he's kind of looking away from you, so I'd probably aim a little bit higher there. Because my guess is he's going to turn farther away once he sees that you're shooting him.
And I believe that's what he ended up doing.
Yeah, you still got 3 hits on him. You know, it's not bad. Of course, the Kerfers hit you with a Citadel. You know, go figure. But it's early in the game, it's not catastrophic. It's nice to see your team holding none of the capture points, though. That's exciting.
Yeah, the outcome on this one was vastly different than what I anticipated, like, at this point in the battle.
Yep, I like the decision to turn there, and you're looking at the Massachusetts. This is really smart because he's kind of stuck going after the Georgia here. Again, I might have turned, aimed up a little bit again because I think he's turning away from you. Never mind, you hit him with a Citadel. This is what happens when we do replay analysis. I always tell people, I don't know about that shot, and then it's like a massive shot. Now he's turning away, so I think up would be better. There you go. Gotta love airdropped bombers on subs. So easy. He's on the surface, actually. Interesting. Now you've turned back north here. What's with the decision to go back north?
Battleships, or their battleships at the north, were starting to kite.
Okay.
Off to the west.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to make sure that I was still within range, and being fresh to tier 10 and what is it, like 24 kilometers of base range.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to my long range accuracy is not quite there yet.
Got it.
From a leading standpoint.
Now, you had a chance to drop your other set of ASW bombers. You didn't, and I definitely would have. I think you probably would have gotten away with the kill on the sub, though he is flooding now, so you might still kill him anyway. Yeah, he's flooding. You might want to DCP and turn out. You might be able to dodge these torpedoes. Nope. Okay, you did get the sub, so that's good. You could DCP here, but nobody's really got a shot on you, so it looks like you don't care. Venezia just trolled you with his armor. That looked like it was supposed to have been a really good shot. Ooh, gearing. Yes, please. He's not even paying attention to you. I think he's too busy looking at your sub, teammate. Nice hits there. 4 over pens. Now, I wouldn't stay kind of at the same course and speed and angle to that gearing, because he could have very well turned in luck check torpedoes your direction. Man, you are getting all the hits with those ASW bombers. I'm sorry, go ahead. What were you saying? You were saying yeah, something?
I don't remember why I chose to maintain course after watching a destroyer sail at, what was it, like 6 kilometers?
Yeah, he was pretty damn close, but if you're lucky, he luck chucked at the Bismarck earlier or something like that. Looks like he did, because the torps would have hit by now.
Yeah, I think I was hoping that he was too distracted.
Yep. Now, you're extremely lucky that both enemy battleships, I wouldn't have shot there. I would have held the fire because he's not detected anymore. You're very lucky that both enemy battleships are in the same grid square-ish, because that makes it very easy for you to angle. And see, there it is again. I say, don't shoot because you can't see the guy anymore, and then you freaking Citadel him. I don't know if I agree with turning in like this, though. Especially now that you know that the sub is there. I would actually hold my shot here and then turn out before shooting. Doing so allows you to be in a better situation should the Asashio, Kitakaze, or the enemy sub decide they want to torpedo you. Because now you're kind of locked into staying true to that Kurfürst, right? Heading towards him.
Okay.
Okay. Now, see, there's the Missouri shots. So now this is your opportunity to turn, actually, because the Kurfürst is switching sides. Oh my goodness! Just barely dodged those torpedoes from the Asashio. This is very risky turning in like this, and continuing to go closer like this. You're getting close to the Kurfürst secondary range. Plus, you've got a destroyer and a sub to potentially deal with.
And then I was heading towards an island.
Yeah.
It was at this point that he knew that he messed up.
A minor inconvenience, this island here. But you're doing the right thing in that you're going behind the island. A lot of people would have turned in farther to get in front of the island. I think would have been a bigger issue. So I like that you're going behind the island here. And at this point, you're up by one ship. Your team is decently healthier. Sorry, two ships now. Decently healthier than the enemy team. I like that you're changing focus on the Missouri, because I would agree with you. There's no reason to... In a battleship, why would you charge an Asashio or a sub, right? Like, unless you needed that kill to win. Or there was nothing else to do. Once again, aim a little bit higher because he's probably going to turn away as soon as he sees you shooting him. Once again, there's a Citadel from the shot. I'm 3 for 3 now with suggesting slightly different aim. Did you notice that?
Every single time, Citadel.
our you know, good old RNGesus.
That's right. That's right. What's up, Mondays? Ah, he's sitting still. We're doing a Patreon replay right now with Otto in the Montana. You picked a really good ship to work up to tier 10. I mean, Montana is very comfortable in pretty much all respects.
Yeah.
Nice hit on the Hornet. Unfortunately, he started to move.
She does feel a little more sluggish when you're coming up from Iowa, but it's like...
Yep.
You can usually get used to that pretty quick.
That is true.
I watch a lot of Potato Qualities stuff.
Yeah.
And he's a big Montana fan.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he is.
So I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I like the battleships and cruisers. I'm not a big fan of playing DDs.
Really? Okay. So now you know you get to work next. Unfortunately, Island ate a few shells from you.
Yeah. I also wouldn't have been worried too much about that carrier, because, let's be honest, the team can pick him off. I'd focus on threats closer to your position on the board. Because even though the game is pretty much won at this point, you can still get slapped.
That's true, but I do agree with going after the Hornet, simply because it's a carrier. It's something that you can hit relatively easily. You can practice your long-range gunnery skills, and frankly, if you wipe him off the board, then your team has to come all the way back to you to kill the Missouri, and the Missouri is right in front of you. So,
yeah, and at the time I was shooting, Missouri was pointed straight away from me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll just keep the AP loaded and shoot the carrier until he turned.
And oh my God.
Citadel City, let's go.
Take me down to the Citadel City. I can't believe you just... Oh, God, that's so dirty.
No, what's dirty is bullying Neptunes for even thinking they should be in ranked.
So, Otto, what specifically did you want feedback on? I mean, I kind of went through generally a replay.
I mean, just general, like where I could have aimed better, where I should have not sailed in front of Asashio torpedoes.
Okay, because every time I told you to aim better, you hit a Citadel. So I don't know that. I don't know that that's gonna help you much. You know, the feedback, of course, about the Asashio part, I think that was probably the only real mistake that you made was pushing in the way that you did. You got very lucky that the enemy team did not punish you for doing that. But,
and I mean, yes, I got to handpick the replay, right, where it was favorable for me. But even when we do good, we can do better, right?
Well, and that's the thing is, you know, I'm going to load the replay up again. We'll watch it fast forward here. And let's see if there's anything else we can glean from this. Because, you know, I mean, I do like doing offline replay analysis. And it's been a while since I've done it. But let me look at your overall positioning. I'm going to bring up the mini-map. And we'll just look at it more carefully in terms of, like, where you go and everything. But I think a lot of your positioning is very... smart. I appreciate that you're not playing the sniping battleship where you sit in the backfield all game.
It's because my aim is trash.
That also helps. I was...
You know, there were a couple comments I made about subs, like right there. Thinking about where the subs
I
going to go.
can't see your screen anymore. It shows that the stream's ended.
Sorry, let me fix that. There. I forget that when the replay ends, it just drops everything. Yeah, you should be okay now, right?
Yep.
Cool. So this is, I think, one area where you could have improved a little bit is you only dropped the one depth charge on that sub. You could have dropped a second. He ends up flooding out anyways, but, you know... might as well get that extra drop. It's free. It's right there. So I think that's one thing that, you know, slight change. That poor shot out of Venezia should have been much more. I'm sure you thought so too.
Yeah, but it was rushed. I didn't think I'd let it right, to be honest. So at that point, I was happy with 2 overpins.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was perfect, but yeah, it was very quick snapshot. Here's the part with the gearing that's going to the side of you here. How close is he? He's 8 kilometers away. So if he luck chuck torpedoes at you, that could be a problem. And Venezia once again made a big mistake with the island between him and everybody else. Fortunately for him, he turns in, dodges most of the torpedoes, or sorry, most of your shots. Right now it's tied up. And here's the part where you turn north again, and you turn in.
And this turned out, again, well, but I think a recurring theme is I turn in a little too soon and close range. And sometimes it ends up with me, like, right outside of a cap, and there's 4 enemy ships, and it's like, oh.
Right, so I paused the replay right here because this is a chance... really your last chance to go dark if you wanted to in order to try to turn out. You had chances earlier, didn't take it. The big thing is, like I said before, you got extremely lucky that both battleships on the enemy team were in the same spot. Even the Asashio's in the same spot, and as a result, you angling to the curve first by default means you'll dodge most of the Asashio's hate. You got lucky there, and frankly, had you turned out earlier, you probably would have taken torpedoes, go figure. But had the Kurfürst or Missouri been on this side, right, so Charlie 7, that would have been a world of trouble for you, because they'd have your broadside, but they didn't, so, you know, you can play closer, which is what you did. And being up close to the enemy in a Tier 10 battleship isn't a bad thing. You projected your power. So, you know, there's that to consider as well, right? There's the deep waters from the Asashio. Interestingly enough, I
And the
didn't...
clinch marks on my computer chair.
right? As you go, oh crap! But the interesting thing is, there were no follow-up torpedoes from the Asashio. I would have expected to see more. But for whatever reason, he didn't fire another round. Or maybe he did and they hit the island.
He might have had a module incapacitation because that does reset the load.
That is very true. His torpedoes could have been stunned as well. So let's fast forward again a little bit more.
It also helped that he was at range when he launched them, so the spread was enough to have him survive by blind luck.
Yep, and going farther behind the island again this helps you survive against potential torpedoes. There's the Confederate.
But then I turn in again, and that's when I eat one.
You do turn in again, and here's those torpedoes. Yep. But I mean, that's kind of hard to predict. I mean, you could slow down there behind the island and wait. I don't know. The problem is, in the process of doing that, you're just really far back from everything. And if you look at your score, you've got the caps, you've got the ship advantage. If you go down, that's probably not going to impact the battle at this point. Now, I say that as the Hornet cleans up the Arian and I think the Sherman he takes out too.
Yeah, I think he ends up with both.
So, LOL there. Yep, there goes the Arian. And here's the part. So, this Missouri really screwed up. For some odd reason, he decided to go along the border. And you're going to see the results of that right here. As, I mean, ouch.
And it was the turn in on the border, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
so you know,
if he had nosed the other way, he would have... Yeah, he would have lived a little bit longer.
I would have expected him to turn north. I'm surprised that he turned south like he did. But
I mean, half the time, people who drive battleships aren't really paying attention to where they're going. They're more focused on whose broadside can I slap AP into.
right. So that pretty much does the replay. God, I don't know if there's anything else to comment on.
Only thing I would say is the hitting your damage control immediately after getting the flood. But the other battleship was firing AP, so it's fine.
Oh, because he might have been set on fire again? Is that what you're thinking?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because at the end of the day, like, fire can be a crippling thing to a battleship if you don't have that DCP, since it cools down is so long. But again, the match was it was already decided at that point.
So the interesting thing is, I would agree with you on the DCP, but for a different reason, and that would be the potential for a second rack of torpedoes hitting you and causing a permanent flood. That being said, since you already saw the first rack of torpedoes hit at least one of them, I would say you had a better chance of, not having to worry about that, right? If you didn't see that before, you'd be worried about a second rack hitting you and causing a permanent flood, but that did not happen in this case. And I just realized I need to share the screen with you again, so give me one sec. But Otto, any other questions at all? I don't want to, drag things out longer than they need to be, so...
No, I think y'all give me feedback. It gives me something to work on, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Learn so that I don't make the same mistakes later on.
Right, I'm just getting to that part where you've nailed the Missouri. I think I'll try, I don't know if I can, I'll try to make that the cover picture. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Here we go. But yeah, as part of being a Tier 2 Patreon supporter, you also do have the ability to have one of your replays covered on stream, so please make sure that you let me know when you have one of those replays, and we'll take care of that this coming Sunday with what's it called? Warships Spring Championship on the horizon. It's better to get that to me sooner rather than later.
All right.
Come on, there we go. Oh, look at that tight spread.
It's not Deadeye, but it's good.
Well, it's as good as it gets for right now. Oh, cool! I can get to the other side of the border. So we're gonna watch this guy explode, and we're gonna go ahead and get.
It helps that it was like 6 kilometers too.
He was really close, absolutely. And of course, with him turning the way he was, he exposed a lot of his Citadel because of the upward roll of his port side armor profile. So that worked out really well for you.
Yeah, and at that point, right, when he's at the border like that, you know he's going to turn. Your two options are fire now, well, which was the obvious choice since he was very low, or wait for him to turn, because the way his turrets are, you could have easily smashed his turrets to pieces.
True.
If the fight would have been prolonged.
That's very true. But otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. Those of you that are watching later on YouTube. And Otto, thank you very much for being a Tier 2 Patreon supporter. And I hope we gave you some good food for thought, and looking forward to the next replay.
Yep, I appreciate it.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop now. Take care, everybody. See you out there next time.